Well, hello everybody again today. And I'm over here decided to go ahead and make my pizza since I didn't catch any fish this morning. I basically went down there just to go to the lake anyway, so it's all good. But anyway, I know before I had showed you what I did with a lot of my vegetables as far as making pizza, but I didn't show the crust, and some of my viewers wanted to know how I did the crust. So I'm going to show you. I got basically 1 cup of self-rising flour. I've got 1 package of yeast that I've already diluted it down in my water. I'm just dumping it right in there and mixing it up. And I use the quick rise yeast, but still I add it in my water when I go to mix it up. I guess it's just a habit. But it'll work just by throwing it in there without even putting it in the water. It's just, whatever you want to do. Get some of that stuff on my fingers. I'm just going to make a dough ball out of it. I guess some people got the impression that I didn't actually make my dough, my crust for my pizza, because I didn't show it. But I do. I make my crust for my pizza. And like I said, I do roll it out. I don't. First of all, I divide it in half, or basically try to divide it in half. And like I said, I don't go into throwing pizza dough around the way they do in the stores and on TV and some of these fancy restaurants, because I've never been able to do that. I've never really even tried, to tell you the truth. But I roll my pizza dough out. I like a real thin crust. And this is basically the only way that I can do it, that it doesn't come all apart. And I'm used to doing it over there on the counter where I don't have anything else around it. But you might say, yeah, one cup of flour is not very much for a pizza crust. Well, it is if you want it thin. I don't like mine real thick. I like the thin crust. So and if you happen to get a hole or something, it's easy enough to fix. I just throw it over my hand and bring it right over here and throw it in my pan. Sometimes it works better than others. That's the way I do mine. And this one didn't quite come out even. So you can tear a little bit off the edges. I don't know what you're seeing up there. Yeah, I just threw it over here on in my pan. And like I said, it didn't come out quite even. So I'm just taking a little bit of the crust off the edge and I'm putting it right there to fill up that little gap. Pizza dough is pretty forgiving. Because you get a hole in it, you can fill it up. And I had already greased my pan. I put a little bit of olive oil in my pan. Now let's see if I can get this other one done without making a complete mess all over the table. And some of you may say, well, why do I fix two? For the simple fact that I open a package of yeast, and the individual package will fix 2 good-sized pizzas, or decent-sized ones. And I need a little bit more flour. So to just go ahead and use that yeast, I make 2 thin crust pizzas. And then I usually freeze one of them. Or I always freeze one of them. Unless there's somebody here to help me eat pizza, you know, that day. Some people like to put seasoning in their crust. I don't really get into that, but sometimes I put like garlic or Parmesan cheese. I sprinkle some of that in the crust when I'm mixing it up. It just depends what kind of mood I'm in. Yeah, I love pizza, but I don't want a real thick crust because, I mean, I don't want to feel like all I'm eating is bread. I don't like that much bread with my pizza. But, I mean, you know, to each his own. You can suit yourself. Do yours the way you want to do it. And I just got pizza rolled up, or dough rolled up on there. And I didn't mean to do that. I wanted to spread it over. I had a little tear in that. And, you know, it's not, don't have to be perfect. Just go around it and kind of loosen it up a little bit. Throw it over my hand and throw it right in the pizza pan. And hope I get it centered. Don't know how much of that you can even see. But you can see I made it a little bit bigger than my pan, actually. But that's okay. I mean, Like I said, it doesn't have to be perfect. I don't think really nothing in life is perfect. Just going to pull some off of there and put it right there. Fill in that little gap. Like I said, pizza dough is pretty forgiving. You get a hole in it, like I said, you can just fill the hole up. Just patch your little hole up if you got one. And I'm going to get this out of the way. These are neat little pads to get. Pie pad, you know, these little rubber pads. Helps clean up what you end up with on your table trying to make pizza. And I'm just trying to clean it up just a little bit so I can put my toppings on. And I need to turn my oven on. A little bit of this dough off of my hands. It happens every time. I forgot to put it on silent. Come over here and do that right now before they call me again. I can turn it back on later, but I don't want to hear it now. Yeah, I want to get my pizzas over here. Yeah, but that one cup of flour is plenty. And I got a hole going on over here. Let's close it up. I mean, let's face it, we don't run Pizza Hut, so. And now I'm going to start putting my sauce on there. Oh, don't tell me my other one's going to start now. I always wait till I try to make a video and then every phone in the house goes off. I even unplugged that house phone one time and it still rang. And I guess I unplugged the wrong cord. Because it still came through. And like I said, I use my tomato paste. I found, to me, that tastes the best. Unless you have homemade tomato paste now. If you got homemade tomato paste, you can't beat it. But I don't have tomatoes in my garden yet, so. And I've cooked all the tomato paste, or the tomato sauce that I had canned last year, which wasn't very much because, as you know, the only one of my tomatoes that really made it was my grape tomatoes, because of the heat that we had and extreme drought. I need to get a knife to go in there. That spoon ain't getting it all out. Oh, I gotta turn my oven on. Because I want it hot, hot. I love pizza, but I tell you what, pizza don't love me. That's one reason I like to make the thin crust. Well, really, like I said, I don't like to eat a lot of bread with my pizza. I want pizza, but I don't want it to be all bread. Plus, the bread part of it is what's, I guess, fattening. More so than the other parts of it. I'm checking my camera because it has a habit of wanting to cut off with me. I was just making sure it was still going. I think pizza is one of the easiest things in the world to make. I mean, let's face it, some people make it better than others, though. Just depends on their recipe, and some of them can just sling the dough up and throw it around like they do in the restaurants and it comes out perfect. If I tried to do that, mine would just fall all apart and tear holes in it and all kind of stuff. And like I said, when you make pizza, you need to get your oven really hot. Like when they make it or cook it at Pizza Hut or places like that, they do it in like a brick oven. And that oven is hot. I mean, hot, hot. It's probably as hot as our ovens will go if we turn them up all the way. Now, got to add my cheese, and I got shredded mozzarella. I get mine from Walmart, great value. And I'm fixing this a little bit different than I did the first one video that I did, because I used a lot of my garden vegetables in the first one that I did. And I really don't have a lot of the garden vegetables right now, so I've got some things, but not many. The good thing about making your own pizza, you can put as much cheese on it or as little as you want, and they don't charge you an extra $1 for the extra cheese. Well, they don't charge you an extra $1 for your olives. Put on my onions, because I got to have onions on mine. My son wouldn't eat onions on it, though. If I was fixing it for him, I'd have to hold the onions. I got a little bit of bell pepper. Red bell pepper. You can use any color you want. Color's not important. In fact, I got a little bit of a green pepper in there too. Just whatever I had. And I got some olives. I love olives. And got to have my pepperoni. Got onion stuck and cheese stuck to my hand. Yeah, I make two like this because that's what the recipe will produce if I do a thin crust. Using a whole package of yeast. And then, like I said, I freeze one of them. Or I may freeze one in a half and just eat half of it for my dinner tonight and then freeze all the rest of it. That way, later on, if I take a notion I want pizza, I just take it out of the freezer, heat it up, and I've got pizza already made. And I may add sausage on one of them. I'm not sure yet. Yeah, I may wipe one or two off of this. Let's see if I got my sausage in here. Yeah, I got some sausage. Usually I just put pepperoni, but I may add just a tiny bit of sausage on the top. Just break off a few little pieces of it and spread it around. I mean, again, you know, it's your pizza, so you can put what you want on it. If you just want cheese, if you just want pepperoni, you just want vegetables on it, put whatever you want on your pizza. But I don't think I fixed pizza since the 2nd of January, February. It's been a little over a month ago, a month and a few days ago that I fixed pizza. And I usually try to fix pizzas once a month. Yeah, I fix pizzas about once a month. And like I said, I usually freeze one, at least one or more of them. Sometimes I have frozen 1.5. Just depends on, like I said, what kind of mood I'm in. Let that oven heat up just a little bit more. And again, I've got my oven as hot as it will go. And I want to put some garlic. There's no easy way to do this. It just kind of comes out and wants to fall in a clump, so I try to spread it around. Kind of push it off of your fork with your fingers. That's the only way to really get it spread when it's wet like this. And again, if you're one of these people that do not like garlic, by all means, do not put garlic on your pizza. Like I said, this is your pizza. You put whatever you want on your pizza. I like garlic because of its, not only the taste when it's in food, but I like it because of its healing properties. Put up. Also going to sprinkle just a little bit of garlic salt with the sea salt. Not much. I'm going to add just a little bit of olive oil. I can get it to come out. I'm down to the bottom of my olive oil. But I found it does help it cook a little better if you sprinkle some olive oil on top. And it's time for me to go get groceries. I'm out of everything just about. Well, that's the last of the olive oil. So I definitely got to go to the store and get me some more of that. I think I spilled some over here. And now all we got to do is put it in the oven. And let it cook. Don't take it long in that hot oven. Take garbage out. Whew. Yeah, I was kind of disappointed that I didn't at least catch one fish to go in my compost tea buckets this morning. But I wasn't counting on it. It's not really the right time right now to fish. Or not here anyway. But there'll be more days to go fishing. Might try it in a different spot next time, instead of going down here where I live. Now, just have to let it cook. Thirsty. You know what? I got flour in my chair. And I was about to sit down there. You sit there, I'll have a white rear end, won't I? There, I think I got it. Yeah, but pizza is a very versatile dish. You can put basically anything on your pizza that you want. You know, basically what you like on your pizza. That's the whole advantage of making it at home for yourself. Is you can fix it just the way you like it. If you want onions, you put onions. If you don't like garlic, you don't put garlic. So that's what I do. I fix my pizza the way I like it with the ingredients that I have on hand, put it that way. You know, sometimes I don't have everything, so I just make it with what I have. And that's what they did years ago in Italy. They didn't have pepperoni and all this other stuff. a lot of times their pizza was their crust, homemade I can't think of it. It's kind of like it's that real thin sliced. It's kind of like a ham that's so expensive for us to buy that they made themselves, so they had it on hand. They would put that on their pizza sometimes with their homemade tomato sauce, their homegrown garlic, their homegrown onions, whatever they wanted on there. A lot of times it was just fresh tomatoes cooked down to almost a sauce, and then they would put that on their dough, and there would still be big like chunks of tomato in it. Sometimes they would put cheese, sometimes not, but usually their cheese was homemade cheese. It was like goat cheese that they made, or cheese from their cows that they made, or even goat cheese that they put on their pizza. They hardly ever bought any of that stuff at the store. I mean, that's how pizza got started. It was a cheap meal that they could fix with what they had on hand, basically. One thing about having a small kitchen. Oh, it's looking good. That cheese is starting to melt. And I'm going to put it out here when I get it cooked. I don't know why I slid that all the way up. But I'm going to put it out here on the table as soon as I get it cooked. That's not very... Oh, well, it's all right to set that hot pan on, because I don't want to set the hot pan right on my kitchen table. Smells good. That'll make my whole day. I'll have fresh homemade pizza for supper tonight after not catching any fish today. But it was real nice out on the lake, I thought. It was real quiet, peaceful. You could hear the ducks quacking and the geese making their sounds, and I'm wondering what was making that sound that sounded like pigs or hogs grunting. I know it was some kind of bird, but I don't know which one of them was doing it. But it reminded me of my grandmother's hog pen when we went up there to feed, the sounds they made when they were getting excited because they figured we were going to feed them. Oh, that's good. I made me some lemonade. Yeah, if you've never tried homemade pizza, don't be afraid of it. I mean, it's one of the cheapest things to make. You just have to have flour and yeast and water. And I still got dough all over my fingernails. Oh well, it'll wash out. But yeah, pizza is one of the cheapest things to make. All you need is a little bit of oil to grease your pan. You need at least a cup of flour, a cup and a half to be safe of flour, because you'll need some flour to sprinkle out so you can roll out your dough and it doesn't stick. You'll need just one package of yeast, a little bit of water, some olive oil if you got it would be nice, and then your tomato paste or your tomato sauce. You can buy a tomato sauce that's in a little can that works real well. So it's up to you, you know. I've even known some people to buy the bigger can of the crushed tomatoes and drain a lot of the liquid off of them, and then just pour those crushed tomatoes on their pizza dough. And that was their sauce, and then they added their onions or whatever else they wanted to add to it. You know, you don't have to have pepperoni or sausage or anything. You can just have your sauce, your cheese. Some people just like the sauce and the cheese on theirs. So It's pretty wide open when you're making your own. You can put what you want to on it. Oh yeah, it's starting to brown a little bit. And my pans are just barely small enough to put both of them on one shelf or one rack in my oven. If one of those pans were just a hair bigger, I wouldn't be able to put both of them on one shelf, one rack. Yeah, and I know now why it was looking so cloudy and hazy all day and feeling so humid is because we're supposed to get rain later on this evening. It's supposed to rain most of the night and into tomorrow, so we got some good rain coming. My rose bushes will love that. Anything I've got growing outside is going to love it. Like I said, I'm not brave enough to put all of my seedlings out from the greenhouse yet because I still anticipate we may get another freeze before, we'll be able to put stuff out in the yard and not worry about it, especially tomato plants. And after going through what I have with my tomato seedlings, I do not want to put them out there and let them freeze, because I can at least turn my light on in my greenhouse, and it'll keep it warm enough in there if it's just going to freeze one night, that it'll keep them from freezing. Because by the time it gets down to freezing temperature, it'll start warming back up again. And that light in there puts out enough heat that it'll keep it from freezing. Well, that's the way it's worked so far. I just hope it continues that way. Are y'all pizza lovers? Do you love pizza? Have you ever made pizza at home? Put some stuff in the comments. Let me know, what you think about making homemade pizza, if you've ever tried it. Oh yeah, it's looking good, looking good. I'm ready to eat. I don't know what time it is your time, but we're Central Time here, and it's 4 o'clock. I ate a good breakfast, though. I fixed sausage, milk gravy, and biscuits for breakfast this morning. And I ate way too much of it, which my weight can tell that I love to eat. I used to could eat like a horse, and I never gained an ounce, but I don't know. I could starve myself now and I'd gain weight. I would love to lose some weight because my clothes are getting to where I can't wear a lot of them. They're getting too tight in the waist. I can't get my jeans zipped up. I'm into size 12s right now, and I don't like it. I usually wore anything from like 10s and down. I mean like 5s and 4s. I got so thin one time I couldn't find pants, shorts, or anything small enough to fit me. I wore a size 1, but most of the stores didn't even carry a 1. I love the 5, 7, and 9 shop, but hey, the size 5 was too big. So you know what I had to do? I went in the little girls section of the store, and I would buy jeans and shorts and stuff like that in the kids' sizes to get them small enough. My daughter teased me because she was only like 14 at the time. And she walked by me one time and she says, "Mom, you look like an 11-year-old boy. You have no boobs and you have no butt." I said, "What are you talking about?" She says, "Mom, you have on a size 1 jean and you don't even fill the butt of them up, the seat of them up." And she just laughed at me. I said, well, I didn't care because I felt great. I had lost a lot of weight and I felt great. I've never been a real big person. Like, the size I am right now is the biggest I've ever been in my whole life. And I don't like it. I want to lose weight. So, but a lot of times we don't get what we want. A lot of times we don't get what we want. few more minutes and I should be able to take it out. Find my pizza cutter. There you go. Turn that off and leave it in there a few minutes and it'll be ready. And my son and my daughter-in-law bought me a food processor for Christmas, but I haven't taken it out of the box yet. She said, I figured you could use something like that with your garden. I said, yeah. I really didn't need it last year because I didn't have enough vegetables growing in the heat to use a food processor. The only thing I had to amount to anything was grape tomatoes. Look at there, don't that look good? Woo! Hot. You ever notice they cut their pizzas when they first take them out of the ovens? But I guess they have to do that in places like Pizza Hut because people are waiting on their pizzas. So they got to hurry up and get them cut and get them out to the people to eat. But look at that. Whoops, I didn't mean to do that. I want it to stay on the... But don't they look good, y'all? And they don't stick. Let me show you the crust under the bottom. And get this camera up without it cutting off. See, turning your oven up as hot as you can get it to go, basically. You can come up with, look at the bottom of that pizza. That's some pretty crust right there. And see how simple it was to make? Y'all make you some pizza. I think you'll really like it. But there's my 2 pizzas. Like I said, I'm going to freeze one. And I'm going to probably spend the rest of the week eating on the other one. Or I may just eat part of it and freeze part of it. Sorry, I belched. But, yeah, 1 cup of flour. And then with a little bit left over, you know that you can put in your pan or on your table or wherever you're going to roll it out so it doesn't stick. 1.5 cups is plenty of flour to make 2 pizzas. If you like a thin, crispy crust, and I do. Like I said, I don't want to eat thick bread on my pizza. To me, it's not pizza. I don't like the thick bread. I'd rather have thick cheese on it and thin and crispy crust. But don't they look good, y'all? Y'all make you a pizza. Get busy and make you a pizza tonight. And with that, I'm going to sit down here, let mine cool off a little bit. Like I said, I'm going to eat some. That's going to be my dinner. And I know it's 4 o'clock, but I ate breakfast early this morning. I've not eaten anything since breakfast, so I'm going to eat a couple of slices of my pizza. And I hope y'all will use this recipe and make you a pizza. Put any toppings on it you want. All you really need is your crust, your cheese, or your crust, your tomato sauce, and your cheese. And then take it from there. Put whatever you want on your pizza because it's your pizza. So please, like, share, subscribe to my videos. Y'all have a blessed day, and I'll see you on my next video.